If you don't know what NSV and SV verbs are, please watch the video in the link provided in the description before watching this video. In this video, we will go over the examples and compare how NSV and SV verbs are used in sentences. But let's first quickly remember how NSV and SV verbs are used in general. The left side of this table are the tenses: прошедшее время past tense, настоящее время present tense, будущее время future tense. The NSV verbs are used to talk about present, past, and future. Sentences with NSV verbs are very similar to English present, past, future, simple and continuous tenses, and are used to talk about processes or repeating actions. Such sentences might often have words that indicate duration or frequency of action, such as часто, often, редко, rarely, всегда, always, никогда, never, иногда, sometimes, обычно, usually, каждый день, every day, каждый год, every year, весь день, all day, весь год, all year, сейчас, now, раньше, before, 2 часа, for 2 hours, 3 года, for 3 years, долго, for a long time. Past tense of NSV verbs is formed by adding one of the 4 endings l, la, li, or lo. Я писала, I was writing, or I used to write. Conjugated NSV verbs talk about present. Я пишу, I am writing, or I write every day, for example. For speaking about the future, the NSV verbs are used in their infinitive form with will be doing something. Will be is conjugated, while the NSV verb remains in its infinitive form. Я буду писать, I will be writing, or I will write every day, for example. Now let's take a look at the SV verbs. The SV verbs are used to talk about past or future only. Sentences with SV verbs are similar to perfect tenses in English. They're used to describe the outcome, the result of a finished action. To speak about something that has already been done or will be done in the future, or about something that has not been done or won't be done in the future. You might see something like за 2 часа in 2 hours, or за 3 года in 3 years. Something that is done or will be done in 2 hours or in 3 years. When talking about the past, the SV verbs, just like the NSV verbs, get one of the 4 endings, l, la, li, or lo. However, the SV verbs, unlike NSV verbs, describe a particular completed action and not a process or repetition. Я написала, I wrote, or I have written, I had written. There is a result, it is written, it's done. SV verbs are not used to talk about the present. SV verbs are conjugated the same way as the NSV verbs. However, conjugated SV verbs, unlike NSV verbs, talk about future. Я напишу. I will write. It will be written. So, keep in mind, conjugated NSV verbs talk about present. Я пишу. Conjugated SV verbs talk about future. Я напишу. Let's practice making sentences with the verb to write. The NSV form is писать. The SV form is написать. As you can see, both forms look very similar when conjugated. But remember, conjugated NSV form писать is talking about present, while conjugated SV form, написать, is talking about future. So, я пишу means I am writing or I write. Я напишу means I will write. Let's conjugate. Repeat after me. Я пишу. Я напишу. Ты пишешь. Ты напишешь. Мы пишем. Мы напишем. Вы пишете. Вы напишете. Он пишет. Он напишет. Она пишет. Она напишет. Они пишут. Они напишут. Прошедшее время. Past tense. The NSV forms describe processes or repeated actions in the past, while SV forms talk about a completed action, a result. Я писал, I was writing, or I used to write. Я написал, I wrote, I have written, or I had written. Repeat after me. Писал, написал. Писала, написала. Писали, написали. Let's look at the examples. Настоящее время, present tense. NSV form пишу, I write or I'm writing. Я сейчас пишу письмо. I am writing a letter now. We see a process in present. Я часто пишу письма. I often write letters. Action that is repeated over time. Now, let's see the SV form. Я напишу. I will write. Remember, SV forms never talk about present. Conjugated SV forms talk about future. Будущее. Я напишу письмо завтра. I will write the letter tomorrow. It will be written. There will be a result. Let's take a look at the past tense now. Прошедшее время. NSV form. Писала. Я писала. I was writing. I used to write. Я писала письмо, когда ты позвонил. I was writing a letter when you called. Писала here describes a process in the past. It's a description of what was happening at the moment of the call. Раньше я часто писала письма. I used to often write letters before. Action that was repeated in the past. Now, let's take a look at the SV past tense form. Я написала, I wrote, or I have written, or I had written. Я уже написала письмо, когда ты позвонил. I had already written the letter when you called. The letter was already completed at the moment of the call. There was a result. And future tense, будущее. We need will be with the NSV verbs. Я буду писать, I will be writing. Or I will write. Я буду писать тебе каждый день. I will write you every day. We're talking about an action that will be repeated in the future. Я буду писать письма завтра. I will be writing letters tomorrow. We're talking about a process that will be happening in the future. We have already looked at one example with SV form напишу. Я напишу письмо завтра. Here are two more examples. Я напишу тебе завтра. I will write you tomorrow. You'll hear from me tomorrow. A particular result in the future. Я напишу письма завтра. I will write the letters tomorrow. The letters will be written. There will be a specific result in the future. The verb to do. Делать, сделать. Я делаю, я сделаю. Ты делаешь, ты сделаешь. Мы делаем, мы сделаем. Вы делаете, вы сделаете. Он делает, он сделает. Она делает, она сделает. Они делают, они сделают. Делал, сделал. Делала, сделала. Делали, сделали. Я сейчас делаю домашнее задание. I am doing homework now. Я всегда делаю домашние задания. I always do homework. Я сделаю домашнее задание завтра. I will do my homework tomorrow. I'll get it done tomorrow. Я делала домашнее задание, когда ты позвонил. I was doing homework when you called. Я всегда делала домашние задания, когда училась в школе. I always used to do homework when I studied at school. Я уже сделала домашнее задание и сейчас отдыхаю. I have already done homework and now I'm resting. Завтра я буду занята. Я буду делать домашнее задание. I will be busy tomorrow. I'll be doing my homework. Я сделаю домашнее задание завтра. I'll do my homework tomorrow. I'll get it done tomorrow. Я буду отдыхать, когда сделаю домашнее задание. I will rest or I'll be resting when I get my homework done. When I'll do my homework, when I finish it. Verb to read. Читать, NSV form. Прочитать, SV form. Я читаю, я прочитаю. Ты читаешь, ты прочитаешь. Мы читаем, мы прочитаем. Вы читаете, вы прочитаете. Он читает, он прочитает. Она читает, она прочитает. Они читают, они прочитают. Читал, прочитал. Читала, прочитала. Читали, прочитали. Я читаю эту книгу уже месяц. I have been reading this book for a month already. Я уже читаю 2 часа. I have been reading for 2 hours already. Я прочитаю эту книгу за месяц. I will read this book in a month. It will take me 1 month to read this book, and I will be done with it. Я прочитаю эту книгу за месяц. Я читала эту книгу месяц. I read this book for a month. It took me 1 month to read it. For a month. Я читала эту книгу месяц. Duration. Месяц. For a month. Я долго читала эту книгу. I read this book for a long time. It took me a long time to read it. Долго. Process lasted долго. Я долго читала эту книгу. Я прочитала эту книгу за месяц. I read this book in a month. It took me 1 month to finish reading it. In 1 month, I was done with it. I finished. Я прочитала эту книгу за месяц. Я уже прочитала эту книгу. I have already read this book. Сегодня вечером я буду читать новый роман. Tonight I will be reading a new novel. Думаю, я прочитаю этот роман за неделю. I think I will read this novel in a week. I think it will take me 1 week and I'll be done with it. In 1 week I will finish reading it. Я прочитаю этот роман за неделю. Вставать, встать, to get up. Завтракать, позавтракать, to have breakfast. Смотреть, посмотреть, to watch. Настоящее время, present tense. Летом я обычно встаю поздно, завтракаю и смотрю новые фильмы. In summer, I usually get up late, have my breakfast and watch new movies. It's something that is repeated during the summer. Usually, обычно, and it happens throughout the summer. There is no present tense for the SV verbs. SV verbs do not talk about present. Прошедшее время, past tense. Раньше, летом, я вставала поздно, завтракала и смотрела новые фильмы. I used to get up late in summer, had my breakfast and watched new movies. So it's something I used to do in summer, something that was repeated many times before. В воскресенье я встала поздно, позавтракала и посмотрела новые фильмы. On Sunday, I got up late, had my breakfast and watched new movies. So we're speaking about a particular time in the past, on Sunday, and what was done that day. I got up late, I had my breakfast and I watched new movies. It's a completed action that happened at a particular time in the past. Будущее, future tense. Летом я буду вставать поздно, завтракать и смотреть новые фильмы. So plans for summer. In summer I will be getting up late, I'll have my breakfast and I'll be watching new movies. So it will be something that will be happening during the summer, will be repeated many times, maybe every day. Я буду вставать поздно, завтракать и смотреть новые фильмы. В воскресенье я встану поздно, позавтракаю и посмотрю новые фильмы. On Sunday I'll get up late, I'll have my breakfast and I'll watch new movies. So again, we're having a plan for a particular day, what will be done on that day. Я встану поздно, I'll get up late, позавтракаю и посмотрю новые фильмы. We'll have my breakfast and watch new movies. That is what will be done on Sunday. and it's not going to be repeated. On other days maybe, but on Sunday this is what it is going to be.